The crypto world and traditional finance doesn't mix well. Why did Tether never make a proper audit? Why did Binance never make a proper audit? Maybe those central companies don't really hold the value that they're supposed to hold. But here's the difference. If you're a crypto company, you're supposed to hold 100% of user deposits. If you are a traditional bank though, you get away legally with just holding 5%, maybe 10%. So that's really what a bank run means. More than 5 or 10% of people want to take out their money and the whole system implodes. Let's have a look at what the CEO of Tether says about this auditing topic.
Correct in its strategy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, people always want to talk about audits, and it's this weird thing where you all are doing public, maybe transparent view of what's in the reserves. Then there is like a CPA or an actual auditor type thing. There's also attestations. Talk a little bit about like what have you guys done in the past, and then how are you all thinking about now? Giving as much information to people who hold Tether as to where the funds are in the reserves.
Sure. So in this moment, 2023, the industry standard, the stablecoin industry standard is the attestation. Attestations are not third-party attestations. Attestations are not audits, but they are also a good instrument to evaluate the composition of the reserves of a stablecoin. That doesn't mean that the Tether is not interested to perform a full audit. Actually, in the past, we went public saying that we were working on an audit, and it's taken a long time for different reasons. So, initially, definitely adverse media didn't help. I think that in the last few years, Tether made wonderful progress in providing transparency, providing reassurance. We have seen these black swan events that almost kill our competitors, killed good parts of the crypto industry. They didn't touch Tether at all, given its good risk management and stability. Nevertheless, we are after FTX. You cannot believe how many auditors are scared about touching the crypto industry with a 10-foot pole. Some of them are not taking on new contracts for auditing. And if you look at the big four auditing firms, my understanding is that there was a public message from someone notable in the Congress that suggested that auditors should not take new crypto customers as customers. And so, to me, it's really important to express the fact that Tether wants always to improve its transparency, has done a tremendous job in doing that. It was the first stablecoin to provide the breakdown of reserves. If you look at the attestation of Tether, if you look at the notes that BDO, that is the top fifth auditor in the world, is doing these attestations. The process, the level of details that they go through for the attestation is really high, is almost comparable to an audit. And if you look at the other attestations, they are much lesser. Like, we see that a couple of numbers, that's fine. So, also our BDO is interested, so is doing the attestation work, but at the same time wants to make sure that everything is proper. And so they are doing a really thorough work in the for the attestation. So I think in the future will still see Tether, and we are actually actively working towards an audit. And in the past, we made the mistake of giving some deadlines that we could not meet. That didn't and doesn't change our focus, our commitment. So I'm positive that our team will continue in that direction.
Here are the videos that work on YouTube. XRP will be $12,000 guaranteed, or an AI explosion, top 3 cryptos to buy in November. A lot of pushing of greed, that's what gets the clicks. What doesn't get the click is a tutorial on how to make backtests, on how to build those sheets that in the end figure out what historically worked well in the past. The backtest that I often show here on this channel. I still very much enjoy producing this kind of content though. I also share these kinds of sheets, but I don't do it on YouTube. It's rather a small circle. We are less than 100 people that signed up for premium. You also get direct access to me. Feel free to check it out. It's thebitcoinstrategy.com. Are you hearing these contradictions as well? On the one hand, the CEO of Tether says that auditors are not bringing on any more crypto clients. On the other hand, he wants to do a full audit and is working towards this. How does that make sense? Auditors are obviously still taking on crypto clients. There are all these Bitcoin miners, right, that made an IPO that get audited regularly. We then hear that it's so difficult to get that audit done, that they've already breached a prior deadline. But then in the same breath saying that an attestation is pretty much the same thing. So why is an attestation so easy when an audit is so hard? There's way more scrutiny for crypto companies than for traditional finance, right? 10% of a drawdown in deposits in a bank can already collapse the bank. This already happened for Tether. I mean, a drawdown of more than 10% without a collapse. Have a look at this. This is the market cap of Tether, and that went down from 83 billion all the way to 65. So Tether at least owns those 20 or so billions that had been redeemed at the time. So there were redemptions from the merchants moving Tether tokens to traditional fiat redemptions. That's why there were less circulating Tether tokens, and that's why the market cap here went down. Now it's, by the way, at an all-time high again. Now let's have a look at CZ, CEO of Binance, how he's talking about a potential audit. This is a relatively old clip, but it had been resurfaced again by CoffeeZilla.
A response from their CEO.
Thus far, you haven't disclosed your liabilities, and I wonder why that is and whether you will.
Yeah, so we are working with the firms to do the audit of financials, liabilities, etc. But the audits don't reveal every problem. So
no, but an audit from a Big Four auditor would reveal that, CZ. If you could get a Big Four auditor to say that, if you're saying that some of them don't want to work with you, that raises questions too. They don't want to work with you because you don't have the files and the data that would make them feel comfortable signing off and giving that stamp of approval?
Actually, many of them don't even know how to audit crypto exchanges. They don't really when they audit, they're very used to auditing a firm.
Does Coinbase, CZ, Coinbase has a Big Four. Coinbase has a Big Four auditor?
Actually, I don't look at Coinbase. We don't really look at
other... so, though.
A very similar argument, right? The auditing firms don't want to work with us. Now here's the beauty of the blockchain. We can at least get some of the data. We can see how much money is flowing into Binance and out of Binance. Unfortunately, we don't know how many depositor requests are against this. So we don't know if the sum of balances of user deposits actually matches whatever Binance is holding. But at least we can see what Binance is holding. And thus we can have a feeling when the level might get critically low and we have to stop using Binance. Have a look at this. This is the proof of reserves for Binance. In the last 24 hours, we saw a $1.6 billion outflow, but we also saw a $1.59 billion inflow. So actually, all the worries around the penalty payment, right, the $4.3 billion penalty payment, seems to not be materializing into significant outflows, net outflow. Now, we've got another interesting number here, the percent of clean assets. Now, what does that mean? This is a learning from the FTX collapse. FTX had a lot of their assets in the native FTT token and then borrowed against this FTT token. The FTT token collapsed, and thus there was nothing that was backing those liabilities. This number here, the 88%, show how much of the assets are in the native and the risky token. And so yes, the balance that Binance is holding is rather shrinking over time. But that's mainly because Binance holds a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and those went down in price. We also see the stablecoin breakdown. There used to be a lot of holdings of BUSD. This has shrunk because BUSD is not allowed to issue any stablecoins anymore. The SEC clamped down on Paxos for this. Paxos actually holds the BUSD, not Binance itself. And here we've got a nice pie chart of what they're actually holding, what we can see on chain. 19 billion worth of Bitcoin, 28 billion worth of Ethereum, and 6 billion worth of the native token BNB. And so that's why I like blockchain technology so much. Even though we don't know if Binance backs one-on-one all of their deposits, even though we don't know if Tether backs every single one of their tokens, we at least can see how many outflows there are. We can at least see what currently Binance is holding. And whenever this gets dangerously low, we can simply just pull the plug early. Have a look at this chart, the Binance asset flows. We've got the inflows, we've got the outflows, we've got the net flows. This is hovering around zero. This does not look particularly worrying. If you've learned a thing or two, feel free to give this a like. There are also exclusive, free, raw, unedited videos on Telegram. Feel free to check it out. The Telegram link is down below.